All right, we're at the Museum of the Rockies. And there's T-Rex. Our area. Living, breathing rock. That's pretty wild. Never seen such a thing in my life. Cool.
I'm working on a lower jaw fragment, up jaw, and a couple others on my
It's like
jaw. So that's kind of cool.
It's
looks like a goose with teeth.
it's a young, the vital seabird. He's a seabird. Is this that they're actually looking now?
Hey guys, you guys are stepping out of here. That's the wild one.
Pretty incredible, huh?
These ones that they 77 million carved out.
That's
Found.
fossils.
Fossils?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Video. So much fun.
We're even excavating. I wonder.
Something like the Judith River, so that might be in the Judith Basin. Pretty wild.
Baby dinosaurs, like only 2 or 3 years old, and they got stuck in the mud.
Some of those bones.
Yeah, look how big they are.
Ow.
Jurassic fossils from Montana. In the middle one there.
It's wild. Howdy. Stegosaurus. That's Colorado.
Well, it's in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the one with the the humps on the back of the really good. Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. Look at their teeth. Look at those big teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We should show that too. Hold it. Hold it. No, those aren't teeth.
Like the pelvis bones.
That dinosaur's intact, fully intact. That's how they excavated it. It was fully intact like that.
Yeah. It was fully intact.
And the big slab of rock.
Uh,
They cut the big slab of rock.
they could have. Look at this guy here. This one.
Oh, the Western Interior Seaway. Okay, so this is the Pacific part, and then this is they were all through here.
Yeah.
They roamed all through there. Oh, look at this one under the water, the fresh water. Terminaris, a long-snouted marine crocodile closely related to Super. Whoa.
Yeah, all these animals were killed off when the flood happened.
Yeah.
This one had hair.
Yeah. Lots of it. Was it a girl? I wonder if it was a girl dinosaur.
Tyrannosaurus for dinner.
Hmm.
Pretty cool.
Here's birds.
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaur ancestors of the birds.
Hmm. We're gonna go upstairs. That's pretty cool.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, my grandma took me here back in probably 1999. We came here, and I've been telling my wife about this, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
really cool.
For the town that we're in,
Yeah.
and for the place in the, you know, being in the West like this, you don't expect a complex like this with
No.
dinosaur presentation such as that. You know, that is a national level.
How big is it? How big is the town?
We have about 70,000 people here when school is in session.
Okay.
And when it's not, we have about 55.
Okay, so it's about the size of what one of our small towns in California is.
Right, exactly. Yes, exactly. and it's interesting because so many of our residents that are kind of in our population live in the hills that you don't feel it either until something happens. Until there's whatever it is, right? Like a move-in week or a parents coming to whatever. And then the traffic and the sort of lack of the infrastructure that we don't have to handle that many people sort of becomes a
problem.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm sure when COVID hit, it was pretty devastating.
It was hectic and weird, but honestly, the numbers stayed really low around here for a long time, which gave, at least there was kind of a sort of a head start on maybe preparing. Yeah. But you know, it's all about proximity.
That's all it is. Your numbers still are pretty low.
They are. Yep.
For the whole state.
Yep.
But they, when you look at density wise, it's high.
It is, and here, and especially here in Bozeman with MSU, because it's MSU has always kind of served as this revolving door of visitors from everywhere in the world, literally. Yeah. Because we have such a, our geography program over there is really good. So anybody that works for any oil company globally sends students to study here, right? Yeah. So we get a lot of Middle Eastern folks. We get a lot of people from from Asia, right? From other places, Turkey, etc.
And Europe and
exactly right. So it's an interesting blend.
Yeah.
Then summer hits and boom, it's National Park crew and it's Katie bar the door. They're everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just like it's a weird management system.
It is.
But it's what we got to do.
Yeah, but by and large, it's not too bad.
No, yeah, we're getting through it.
Exactly.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Thank you. Oh, this is like an art museum, huh?
Oh, it says no. Well, we could.
Okay, so this is copyright. Wood skis.
Winter Yellowstone. We're in 2018. Did we go to Yellowstone? Okay, we were in the count. 4.1 million people visited in 2018 alone.
Cool.
We were one of the two.
Oldsmobile touring car. This is an old gas pump. 10 gallons would be full.
Oldsmobile. Hey, that's an Oldsmobile. My grandma had an Oldsmobile. That's cool. That car was probably built in 1991.
Yeah.
This car was built in
Yeah.
Is that in there?
That's a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say?
Right.
This is a mammoth skull. This is what the mammoth used to look like. Its tusk, and then a miniature recreation of the big tusked mammoth. Ancestors to the elephant.
That's trucks there. Like him. Those are T-Rexes. Like him. Like the red guy. T-Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, and look at the teeth. You should take a picture of that for your dad. Go closer to the teeth.
Wow.
That's a juvenile triceratops. That's a juvenile triceratops, and that's the adult triceratops.
Wowzers. It's big.
Not too much left.
Looks like these are ancestors to rhinos or something, huh? Triceratops. It's all through the line. That's a baby Triceratops skull. Then there's an intact adult Triceratops that was fossilized and harvested. And that's what he would have looked like, fully grown. And that's the head. Pretty cool. Indomontosaurus.
Quiet atmosphere. Please turn off all light devices at this time. For your own safety and the safety of others, please remain seated during the presentation. If you do have to leave at any time, exit through the double doors on your right. These doors push open, but they will lock behind you and we cannot readmit you due to the dark conditions. Enjoy the show.
The Sun. It's one star among 300 billion in our galaxy. It's not close to the center of the Milky Way. It's not the biggest star, not the smallest, the brightest, the hottest, or the coolest. It's not even the only star with planets. Class G yellow stars like the Sun make up 1 out of 13 stars in our stellar neighborhood. It's not special in any way, except one. It's the only star we know of that supports life. The Sun is our star. Without it, Earth would be cold and dark. There would be no weather, no life. In fact, there would be no Earth. From the dawn of life and through most of human history, the Sun was a benevolent giver of light, heat, and energy. But now, as we rely more and more on technology, we're learning that our star is more dangerous than our ancestors ever knew. Like most stars, the Sun produces a lot of energy. It produces enough energy in 1 second to power human civilization for 500,000 years. Energy from sunlight enables life to thrive and multiply on the Earth. Nearly all life on Earth is supported by photosynthesis, the process plants use to convert sunlight to chemical energy. Animals eat plants and use that energy too. Those animals are eaten by other animals, and the energy moves up the food chain. The energy in the food you eat originally came from the Sun. Most of that energy is light. From low-frequency radio waves to high-energy gamma rays, light is much more than what we see. Visible light is one small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Photons, which are the particles that make up light, travel in waves. High-energy photons make high-frequency light, like X-rays or gamma rays. Low-energy photons make low-frequency light, like radio waves or infrared. But how does the sun produce so much energy? To find out, we must look deep inside our star. The sun has 6 main layers. The outermost layer is the corona. This is the atmosphere of the sun. It's much hotter than the surface and can be 1,000,000 degrees Celsius. That's about 1.8 million degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists aren't sure yet why it's so much hotter than the surface. It may be due to magnetic activity, but this is one of the big mysteries of the sun. The next layer is the chromosphere. This thin layer goes from corona temperature to surface temperature very quickly. The visible surface of the sun is called the photosphere. This is where all of the visible light that reaches Earth is emitted. It's also the coolest part of the sun at 5,500 degrees Celsius, or 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Just below the photosphere is the convection zone. Here, hot material boils up toward the surface. The plasma at the bottom of the convection zone is around 2 million degrees Celsius, or 3.6 million degrees Fahrenheit. Below the convection zone is the radiative zone. Energy bounces around so much in this layer that it takes 170,000 years for a single photon to escape, even though it's moving at the speed of light. Finally, the core. The heat and pressure in the sun's core are so great that atoms of hydrogen are smashed together to form helium. This process is called nuclear fusion, and it produces the immense amount of energy that will fuel our star over the course of its 10 billion year lifespan. Energy leaves the core as photons. They bounce around the radiative zone for 170,000 years, boil upward through the convection zone, and are finally emitted from the photosphere. From there, the photons travel nearly 150 million kilometers, or 93 million miles, to the Earth in only 8 minutes. The sun emits light across the entire electromagnetic spectrum. But high-energy wavelengths like ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays are incredibly dangerous to life on Earth. How can life survive all of that dangerous electromagnetic radiation? The answer is Earth's atmosphere. The envelope of gas that surrounds our planet blocks nearly all of the dangerous wavelengths of light. The visible portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, the light we can see, passes right through. So do some radio waves, microwaves, and infrared. They help keep us warm. In addition to heat, light, and energy, the sun also bombards the Earth with high-energy particles. These particles come from the corona. This is the solar wind, and it streams from the sun constantly in all directions at speeds of 400 kilometers per second. That's about 1,000,000 miles per hour. If the particles that make up the solar wind reached Earth's atmosphere, they would gradually strip it away, leaving Earth airless and unable to support life. Luckily, the Earth has a strong magnetic field that acts like a shield. It deflects most of the particles from the solar wind. As long as we stay on the ground, humans are fairly safe from the dangerous effects of our star. But with